Hello everyone, you're welcome back to this channel. Now in today's video, I want to share with you how you can perfectly cut a senator top. I have this dearest, a boy about 10 years who has he has kept on disturbing his mom. Our cultural day is fast approaching. Please do something about it. And I just look at this boy. Nigeria now, we are full of different kinds of activity. So I just decided, let me just make one for this boy. So that he will feel excited, all those things. So in this video, I'm going to take you through. So if you are interested in this video, come along with me. Let's get started. Thanks. So here is the fabric I will be working with. This is not an African print, but it looks like an African material. Okay, so let's get started right now. Now I'm going to fold this fabric into two. So I will be working with the front part, the front piece first. So I'm going to fold it like I'm doing right now into two. So the first thing I'm going to do right now is to measure the length of this top. I have the length of this top to be 22 inches, but I'm going to add extra 2 inches to it for the bending and the down part. Okay, so right now I will go ahead and measure, and before that I will also consider the biggest part between the chest and the waist side, and of course the chest side is bigger. I have the chest to be 30 inches while the waist 28 inches. Okay, so I'll be working with that of the 30 inches. So 30 inches divided by 4 will give me 7.5 inches. So that 7.5 inches, I'm going to go ahead and add like 1.5 inches to it. So 7.5 plus 1.5, I have 9 inches. You could add 2 inches to it, but because I just want to manage this fabric, that's why you add either 1.5 or 1 inch. It's okay. So I'll be having the total of 9 inches for the 1/4 of the chest circumference or the bust. So you can see here I have 11. So I'm going to reduce it to that 9 inches. So I'm going to refold it to give me that 9 inches. Okay. So as you can see right here, I've folded it to my desired width. Okay, can you see? So now I'm going to measure. You can see I have like 9.5 inches here for the 1/4 of the bust. So I will use it like that, 9.5, and it has to be 9.5 all through. Okay, from upper part to the down part. So it's okay like this for me. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to measure, to cut out the length. I said the length is 22 inches plus 2 inches extra. So I'm going to measure the total of 24 inches. You could make your allowance at the down part to be 1 inch, but I just decided let me use 2 inches. So that's why it's up to 24 inches. So as you can see right here, so I'm going to cut it out. You can see 24 inches total. So I have it right here. So here is it. So I'm going to mark it there. So the next thing I'm going to do is just simply to connect that line. Okay, after which I cut it out. So I'm going to connect right now. So having connected, the next thing right now is to cut it out. Like I said this is the front piece, the front panel I'm cutting right now. So after cutting this, after I might have done cutting this, I'm going to use this same front panel to cut the back piece. Okay, all right, this is the front piece. Okay, so right now I'm going to fold the remaining fabric again into two, after which I place this front piece on it just to cut out the back piece. And the width has to be the same. So that 9.5 is what I'm going to maintain as the width, but the length is going to be a bit longer than that of the front piece. Okay, so I'm just trying to arrange it properly so that I make sure it is well laid. So I'm going to confirm it. If I have like that 9.5 inches, okay, it's okay now. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to go ahead and lay this front piece on the back piece. So having lay it like this, you'll discover that this side is a bit longer, like I said. So I'm going to add extra like 4 inches to it. 4 inches. So I'm going to bring it forward to make sure it's exactly that 4 inches. Okay. So I have my 4 inches right here. 4 inches. So I'm going to remove this excess which I have at the edge here. So after that, the next thing I'm going to do right now is to go ahead and cut down to the down part. Now, as you can see right here, I've cut it out. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to draw this front piece to upper part here so that it will be of the same level as the upper part here. So right now, I'm going to draw it to meet the back piece at the upper part here. Can you see? Can you see? So obviously you discover that at the down part, you discover that the back side is longer. This is the back and this is the front. Okay, so right now I'm going to work on the shoulder slope. Okay, naturally the shoulder of human being, even both female and male, is not it's not straight. Okay, so that brings us to the next stage. So the next thing I'm going to do right now for the shoulder slope, because it's just a boy like in 10 years, like I said initially, so I will be coming down by 2 inches. Okay, so having marked my 2 inches from this edge here, so mind you, this 2 inches is not fixed. It's because I'm working for a child like 10 years. If it is an adult, it's going to be like 3 inches or even 3.5 inches. Okay, that is for the shoulder slope. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to go ahead and connect these to this edge here. Okay, so right now I'm going to connect like this. So can you see? So after connecting like that, the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and take off this. So I'm going to remove this. Okay, this is what I have. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to go ahead and shift this front panel downwards. Can you see? I've shifted it downward and it matches the the back panel. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to overlap this back to the front piece with like 0 inch, because that 0 inch is going to be for the shoulder allowance. Okay, so it won't be exactly like this, no. So you are going to make it like 0.5 inch. So I'm going to place it like this. So having placed it like this, the next thing I'm going to do right now is to go ahead and mark my shoulder line. And I told you the shoulder line for this is 15 inches. So half of 15 inches, that is 15 divided by 2, will give me 7.5 inches. So from this edge, I'm going to mark 7.5 inches. So I have it right here. So the armhole line, the length of the armhole is just, I'm using half of the shoulder length, which is 7.5. But if you can just use, you can decide to use like 7 inches, that is removing like 0.5 if you want it more fitted, so at the armhole side. But I prefer using 7.5 inches. Okay, so this is another method of getting the armhole line instead of using the normal calculation that we are used to. Okay, so you could use this, is very, very easy. You could use this. So having connected it together, the next thing I'm going to do from here, I'm going to connect to this side. So having connected, the next thing I'm going to do right now is to create a curve at this armhole side. Just a slight curve. You could use your French curve and you could use your free hand. So as you can see, I've created that curve. Now the next thing I'm going to do right now, because naturally the front armhole is a bit deeper than that of the back. This is for the back armhole curve. So I'm going to create that of the front armhole curve. So from the center point here, I'm going to come in by 0.5 inch. So you could come in by 0.5 or even less than that. So 0.5. So the next thing I'm going to do is to connect straight from this to match up with this. That will be for the the front armhole curve. Okay, so as you can see, I've created that curve. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is from this bust line, I'm going to mark 0.5. Okay, so also on the waistline, I'm going to mark 0.5. Okay, so after that, on the hip side, I'm going to mark 0.5. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to, from the down part here, I'm going to come up by 2 inches, because this 2 inches is from the bend, is for the hem allowance. Okay, so I'm going to come up by 2 inches. So from there, from here to this point, I'm going to come up by 3.5 inches or 4 inches. So I'm coming up by 3.5 inches. So that is where I'm going to connect this 0.5 down up to the bust line. Okay, so I'm going to connect right now. So let me go ahead and use my ruler to connect up to this bust line. So I've connected the lines up to the bust line. Now the next thing I'm going to do right now, if you look at this, there is going, this space I left is because there is going to be an opening so that it will be free. That's the essence of coming in after the hem allowance, coming in by 3.5, which I said that you could even extend it to 4 inches. Okay, so I'm going to connect like this. So this one, I'm going to remove it. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to proceed to the shoulder line. So I'm going to the neckline right now. So it actually depends on who you are working with. So, but in my own case, now it depends on whether you are using a piping for the neck or you just use a facing to turn it. If you are using a piping, if for example you are to use 2 inches, if you are using a piping you are to use 2.5. So in this case, I will be using 2 1/4, okay, inches. I will be using 2 1/4 inches because it might not be a piping. And if I decide to use a piping, it means I'm going to extend it to 2.5 inches. So instead of using a facing, let me just use piping for the front aspect, okay? So I'm going to go ahead right now. I will use 2.5. So I'm using 2.5 inches right now. So let me confirm it very well. Now, the depth, I will be using 3 inches for the depth. So I'm going to mark. So the next thing I'm going to do is to connect. So after that, I'm going from this angle here, I'm going to come in by like 1/2 inch just to create a curve. So having done that, then I can easily create my curve like this. So having created the curve, the next thing right now is just to go ahead and cut it. And right now, I will start from this neckline. Now you discover that it's both the front piece and the back piece together. So I won't cut the whole of it, okay? It's just the front piece. So look at what I'm doing. I'm taking my scissors. Let me show it to you so that. So look at what I'm doing right now. It is inside of this. Can you see? Can you see? Like this, inside. Then I start the cutting. Carefully follow the round, the curve aspect, the shape. I will carefully do this. You have to be very careful so that you don't cut the down part. So I will go ahead carefully. Can you see what I've brought out? So the next thing is just to reshape this. So I'm going to cut this off. Can you see? So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to go to the armhole and cut. I will start with this first, cutting the front one first, like this. Just watch me. Can you see? I'm done cutting the front one. So the next thing is to cut this. I'm done cutting the back one, although you have to cut it together. So the next thing right now is to go and reshape this front one. Okay. So right now, I'm going to proceed to shape the front armhole curve line. Okay. Can you see? So this is the back, and this is the front. Do you understand? So the next thing right now, I'm going to proceed right now. The side which I said I'm going to take off, I proceed to that and I remove. Can you see? So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to open it up. So while I was placing it, I used pin to hold it so that it doesn't move around. So I'm going to remove the pin, then I bring it out. So this is what I have. This is the back. So you can just go ahead and reshape it just little. Then this is the front. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to go ahead and cut the sleeve. Now I want to cut the sleeve. So the sleeve right now, I'll be cutting both the two sleeves together. So I'm going to fold it twice. One, then I refold it again the second time. Two. Okay, so after folding it like this, so the next thing I'm going to do is to mark the length. The length is 7 inches plus 2 inches extra, giving me the total of 9 inches. So I have my 9 inches right here. So I'm going to extend this also, after which I connect together. So right now I connect. So after connecting, now I'm going to measure 6.5 inches. You know the armhole, I use 7.5. So I'm going to remove 1 inch from it. So 7.5 minus 1 inch will give me 6.5. So I have it right here. So from this edge here, I'm going to come down by 2.5 inches or 3 inches. Let me come down by 3 inches. So I will just connect from here down to that place. So as you can see, I'll just create a curve. So the round sleeve, 12 divided by 2 give me 6 inches, and I have it right here. So I'm going to measure from the down part here. I'm going to measure that 2 inches for the hem allowance. So I fold it in just like this. So the remaining part, I'm using it for hem allowance. So I'm just leaving little, okay, because the fabric is not enough. So I'm just trying to manage it. So the next thing I'm going to do right now, if I measure this, I will have just what I have on the armhole. You can see like 8.5. So right now, just go ahead and then cut. So I can now go ahead to reshape. So the next thing I'm going to do is to consider the front armhole. So I'm going to bring So we are through. So I will go ahead and launch this center. Okay. I want to believe that you have found this tutorial very helpful. If you have, please kindly give it a big thumbs up. Okay. So that is that about senator, how to cut senator top. Very, very easy to cut. Okay. Thank you so much. So if you have any question, kindly drop your question in the comment section. Then, if you are yet to subscribe this channel, click on the subscribe button below, and you also click on the notification bell to join this great family. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye.